State House hold in its honor of your presence today?
Well, I've come to meet Mr. President. Our engagement with Mr. President is a continuing one, and as leader of the country and as leader of our party, there are so many things that we can come here to consult with Mr. President. I had engagement with him on the current situation in the National Assembly. We are doing our budget, and we hope that by the middle of December or before Christmas, we should be able to consider and pass the budget by the grace of God. Work has reached a very commendable level as we expected on that. Also, you know that we have impending issues in our party. We have our congresses still to be conducted in some states, few states, about 2 or 3. And of course, going forward, how we are able to reconcile the different shares of opinions that disagreed in the party. And you recall that the party, with the endorsement of Mr. President, had constituted a National Reconciliation Committee under the chairmanship of the distinguished Senator Abdullah Adamu. And we are very optimistic that that committee, with all other leaders in the party, will do everything possible to reconcile our people in the different parts of the country who might have disagreed. You also know that we have legislations that are awaiting the consideration of Mr. President. And for us in the legislature, we have finished our job of passing the bills, particularly the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. It's now for Mr. President to engage with his assistants and those who normally advise him for him to take the next most appropriate action. And we are also very desirous of ensuring that the APC is so stable before the Congress, the convention ultimately, because we want our convention to be hitch-free. We want every member of this party who comes to attend the convention to do so with a clear mind that whoever becomes the chairman, for example, or whatever leadership emerges, is a leadership that has the respect of everyone in the party, because we want Mr. President to continue to work with a solid and strong party, APC. We want this administration, Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, to continue to do the very good work it is doing across the country and consolidate at the end of its tenure. Before then, we are very hopeful that we are able to have projects, the legacy projects commissioned, like the second Niger Bridge, the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Highway, the Lagos-Ibadan, and of course, these kind of projects, we want to ensure that we are able to get them commissioned by Mr. President. So we discuss a lot of things, both in government, in the party, and of course, the security situation in the country can never escape our discussions. And we believe that we have done far so well in the Northeast. We have done far so well in the South-South, especially the Niger Delta. And what we are challenged is in the Northwest, and we are determined to ensure that we give the executive arm of government every possible support. And Mr. President wants to ensure that before he leaves, that the Northwest, like the other parts of this country, would experience better stability than we are enjoying today. So on the whole, it's not something new that I come to see Mr. President. There are so many things that when we see Mr. President, we tell him what we feel and what we should do. But of course, he has his own advisors, but he hears the perspective of the legislature as well. And I'm very happy that Mr. President is so available to us each time we want to see him to discuss matters of governance, matters of our party, and of course, matters that go even beyond those two areas. But I'm happy that what we have discussed are things that will make this country better.
On the bill, governors are critical stakeholders, and they're not happy with it. How do you ensure stability when critical stakeholders like governors are not happy?
Well, I don't know when you say on the bill.
The mode of election.
Or mode of election, whether it's a provision in the bill, in the electoral amendment bill. Well, you see, sometimes this kind of disagreements happen, and when they do, I think the best way forward is for people to engage. I always believe, and I've canvassed for this, that National Assembly members are major stakeholders, governors of APC are major stakeholders, and in fact, the presidency is a major stakeholder. In fact, that's the biggest stakeholder because it runs the administration. And our party must always try to bring everybody together. I don't think there will be any day that you will have a political issue that everybody will say the same thing about it, that agrees with you without any amendment. So when we have any section of our party disagreeing with something, we should be engaging. That's why we are politicians. We must have that kind of a platform where we discuss the issues, let's understand each other, and then we make whatever it is that will make this disagreement minimized, or maybe where possible eliminated completely. So I don't think it is right to say that governors have disagreed. Maybe some governors might have said they don't like it this way, but that's normal. So it's for us to engage and engage and engage, and I believe in that.
Have you discussed?
This is not something that we should be talking now because it has passed the legislature and it's no more with the legislature. So this is something that is now with Mr. President. If we are talking about the electoral amendment bill, the National Assembly has finished its work, and the bill is here in the has been transmitted to Mr. President, and I think at this moment all eyes will be on what happens to the bill from the executive side rather than the legislature. Yes, of course, when we send a bill to Mr. President, we expect the bill to be signed, but there are two things that can happen. Mr. President could decide to, of course, after consultation with his advisors, sign, or if he doesn't want to sign, he may have his reasons. But I believe that whatever we do in the National Assembly, especially this present National Assembly, this 9th National Assembly, we think deep, we think wide, we consult very broadly before we take any position. So I believe that whatever we send to the executive arm of government, Mr. President, for his assent, these are things that are well thought out, and I believe that the expectation of members of the National Assembly will be that this bill is signed. But this is then again not my own calling; it's for Mr. President to take his decision.
Have you discussed that particular provision in the bill with the president, and what is his response?
No, I'm not supposed to tell you what the president said because Mr. President has his spokespeople. So I'm neither Fema Adesina nor Garbashew. What I can tell you is, amongst other things, because that's not the only thing, amongst other things, we have discussed this, and my opinion is National Assembly has done its work. Members of the National Assembly have expressed themselves. This is the majority view, and it's for Mr. President to look at it. And of course, expectation of National Assembly members is get the presidential assent.
Have you lobbied for it to be signed?
I don't know why this appears to be the only issue. You see, there is no need for you to lobby for any bill to be signed if you are a chairman of the National Assembly. because you are simply a presiding officer and you you coordinate the views of your colleagues. The majority of my colleagues in the Senate and in the House of Representatives say this is the way they want the bill to go. This is the provision they want in Section 53.2, 52.3 rather. So I don't have to come and say, Mr. President, sign this. Mr. President has his own processes. When the bill comes, when a bill is sent to him from the National Assembly, I'm sure he has the Attorney General and others to advise him. So why should I stress myself to say, just sign? We expect that he will sign. But how he does that, this is his calling. And I think we should allow him to just follow the processes he's used to, but the expectation of members of the National Assembly is that the bill is signed.
Personally, do you believe that this is the best way to go, direct primaries?
I don't have a personal opinion here, because I'm not here as I'm a Lawan, so I don't have a personal opinion. My opinion is that of the National Assembly members.